Hey people, it's Sam C. Japan. Hope you all have a great day. If not, hope it gets right. And we're going to be checking out some entire tiled parents. Without further ado, let's jump in.
Entitled Mom gets mad at me because I didn't want to give her my lunch. Hey y'all. This happened around an hour ago and thought the whole ordeal was kinda hilarious, so I'm going to share it here so we can all get a laugh out of it too. So I'm at the store, only hint is it's Kroger owned, and as I get in, my first stop is getting some lunch for myself. They usually have this wing bar with some plexiglass covering it because my state is still a little hot with the virus going around, but my town is mostly safe. One of the perks of being in a small town, I guess. I wasn't really paying attention to my surroundings as, honestly, the place was rather busy and I was just focused on getting my stuff and getting out like I normally do. Here is where the entitled mother and her kid enters the scene, right behind me. She taps my shoulders rather aggressively as I finish putting the lid on my little bowl of meat. She looked like she was in her late 40s and her kid was just behind her, just on her phone. She looked about 10, I want to say, but I can't really be sure, but definitely a kid still. Hey, my daughter wants your wings. Hand them over, and at this point, she just sticks her hands out with the skull. I'm guessing she was just expecting me to just say, oh sure, why not? Me no, I'm about to move out of your way anyway and there's plenty to go around. Excuse me? I said give them to me now. She actually kinda screamed now like it was an order. Me, as I said, I'm about to get out of your way, so you can get it yourself. Now if you'll excuse me. Looked enraged at the fact I wasn't about to do as she demanded and actually moved her cart in front of me. I wasn't using one since I wasn't going to be getting much anyway. Then she said, if you don't listen to me, I will get a manager here and get you banned. Don't you know who I am? Now give me your food, my child is hungry, as she points to her kid. The kid looked like he just wanted to melt into the floor in embarrassment. She just said, Mom, it's fine, let's just go. Luckily someone heard the commotion and walked up to the and as he was about to ask if everything was alright, the started going off on him saying I stole her food and she wanted me arrested. He just laughed and said, I'll take care of it, just finish your shopping, and so I did. I don't know what happened at the end, but honestly the whole thing just made me laugh. Hopefully the kid won't end up like her mother.
I want to know how the hell you get this entitlement and survive to your 40s. Like, honestly, what everyone within 10 miles of this woman must have been just bowing down to her as she walked with her crown and scepter and some joker behind her laid down the red carpet. And this lady was doing something for her daughter, right? She was yelling at the woman so her daughter could get some chicken wings, right? Where do you get so mad at this person that you don't stop when the person you're doing this for tells you to? And this is much entitlement over someone else's stuff.
Brain-dead parents brought their loud 3-yo to see the Batman and were aghast when I asked them if they could try to keep their kid quiet. Saw the Batman opening weekend. Loved it so much that when my parents told me they were going to see it last night that I drove up to their place to go with them. After talking it up, I was genuinely excited to see what my dad, who loves Batman, and my mom, who loves Jeffrey Wright, would say about the film. It all went swimmingly until we took our seats. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a family of 3 in the row ahead of us, maybe 4 or so seats removed from being directly in front of us. I noticed one of the members of the family was a toddler. The first 30 minutes of the movie are fine. He makes a couple small noises, but that's it. Nothing too loud or intrusive. But I forget the exact scene. Something loud and bright happened and the poor kid got a little burst of energy from being spooked or overstimulated. Who knows? I should mention that this theater was an IMAX screening, so the noise and bass were booming, and the screen was huge. He starts wanting to stand up and walk around, and the dad grabs H and tries to stop him. Kids start crying, and then is trying to talk to the dad while the movie is progressing. After maybe 5 minutes, I'm well beyond done and lean over to whisper, "Hey sir, can you please get your kid to be quiet or step out and calm him down?" He gives me an annoyed look and says nothing and the kid keeps talking, louder than before. I say again, "Seriously, you need to get him to stop." He sighs, annoyed at the prospect at having to parent his kid, and leaves with the mom and kid in tow. Relieved, I go back to watching the movie until the end. My parents loved it, and I had an overall good time. Until we exited the theater. Dad of the year is in the parking lot waiting for me. The mom and kid are gone. He approaches me aggressively and gets up in my face as I'm headed to my car, saying shit like, "Where do you get off telling me what to do with my own kid?" I'm taken aback for a second or two. I genuinely don't know what's funnier, the fact that he doesn't understand why I asked him to quiet his kid, or the fact he waited for 2.5 hours and apparently will need a ride home from his wife once the ordeal is over. I just tell him, "Look man, the kid is obviously too young to be seeing a movie like this, isn't going to remember it, won't appreciate it, and definitely isn't gonna be patient enough to be quiet for 3 hours." He then gets angrier and tells me not to dictate to him how to parent. I say, "I wasn't trying to say you're a bad parent. If you can't find a sitter though, don't make plans for a movie night." That goes over even worse and he says he bought the tickets and wasted his money because of me. I couldn't help it. I laughed pretty much literally in his face. I told him he's an idiot for buying an $18 IMAX movie ticket for a 3-year-old who wouldn't know the difference between an IMAX screen and their home TV, much less care. And he gives me a shove to the shoulder and tells me to shut the fuck up. He yells at me that he will spend his money how he wants. To which I say that's all up to him, I just don't think it's smart. He gets another shove in and I tell him I have my CCW license and my M&P shield on me. He backs off, I was bluffing anyways, and I go to my car and have a fat fucking laugh on the way home. What a loser.
Honestly, I don't know how the hell you go to a movie theater, have a crying child loud as hell, and people to not say something to you. This is like when people bring their dogs to fireworks. Yes, I will bring my dog to something that will scare the absolute shit out of it, you know? Hey, my dog will enjoy it all. It'll actually hate the experience. I'll just bring it to that, yeah. And honestly, I would say more. That everything this guy said is exactly what I was gonna say. I mean, this chick must be my long lost brother or something.
Drinking in a beer garden in front of my child. So here in the UK we have had some sunshine and the weather has gone above 10 degrees outside, so that means the British are free. Everyone is flocking to pubs, beer gardens, fields for day drinking and barbecues, etc. I went to a pub recently with my friends that had a beer garden attached, and so we decided to sit outside in the gentle breeze and sunshine. Here is where I first clocked our entitled mother. How did I clock her, you ask? Her child was jumping from chair to chair and laying on tables. Yes, laying across tables when people were trying to sit down. Hellspawn. Anyway, my friends and I were chatting, catching each other up on life, yada yada, when we ordered some alcoholic drinks. This is important to specify. This went on until we were on our third round of drinks and we were getting giggly. We decided to stand up and walk to the balcony which overlooks some flower beds and chat there, before returning to our table for the food. On the way back, our entitled mother decided to stand up and try and knock the drink out of my friend's hand. I stood the hell back in shock and just stared, but my mate has much faster reflexes than me, and this glass was one of those red wine type glasses, so she had a good grasp of it anyway. She recovered from shock with only spilling a little of her drink and, I assume without thinking beforehand, tipped the rest of the drink on this mother. She was shocked. I was shocked. Her child was shocked. The other bargoers were shocked. Nobody really spoke for a few minutes. My friend, from now on as Amber, said, and what the hell were you trying to do there? You were being too loud and getting far too drunk. It's 4 p.m. on a weekday, what is your problem? Why does it matter? Who the hell are you? It matters because my child is watching you throw those back, referring to our drinks. Your child is climbing on shit and being much more of a nuisance than we are me. Also, we aren't being all that loud, like not all of us are drinking, so if we were me also we aren't being all that loud. Like not all of us are drinking, so if we were disturbing any, then they would have quietened us down. You shouldn't be drinking at 4 p.m, it's a weekday, it's bloody ridiculous. It's AF King Pub Garden, you nonce. Our entitled mother grabbed her stuff and dragged her child into the indoor section of the pub. We were expecting someone to come outside and tell us to leave, but no one ever did. There was an old couple who were sat not too far away who approached us a little bit later and told us that the had been on the phone before we arrived and they think she got dumped at the table because of the swearing and cussing she had done before. Lovely old gentleman, it's not an excuse, but maybe she couldn't let others be happy when she was in a bad mood. Rightly said.
Honestly, how are you gonna drop into some place where people are drinking? And then get mad at people for drinking in a place they're supposed to be drinking. I mean, would you rather have them doing it in a school zone or a park where children are supposed to be? Places like bars? Honestly, these people need to stop asking like everyone needs to conform around there. Then why would you even go to a place where people are drinking and then expect them to just conform around you like you're some sort of police car or something? And honestly, how are you gonna have someone there who's being more disruptive than two people, and then yelling at those two people for existing and being loud in a place where they're supposed to get drunk, while your child is swinging around the place like it's a playground? Why would you even bring your child there? Why am I trying to apologize to stupidity when we're dealing with, especially when we're dealing with a Karen here?
Mom wants monthly $600 sent to her in Thailand because we make a lot of money, as the title states. I have a mother in her early 60s who moved back to Thailand to retire. We never really got along, but she's my mom, so I keep in touch. Recently she asked my siblings and I to send her $600 collectively each month because she wants to buy a new car and use the monthly money for car payments and expenses. Well, we tried to tell her we'll help her buy a used car. Nope, needs to be a new car. Says we all make a lot of money and can easily send her $200 each per month. I guess because she birthed us, she can decide how much of our income she's entitled to every month.
Honestly, I don't know where the hell these people get the idea that they own their kids. And yes, I want $200 per month for existing. And if this lady really wanted to get this car, she should have kept her job and worked for it. Not relied on her kids who who aren't entitled to give her $200 per month. Honestly, I don't know how this person bears with chatting with their mom. Because honestly, I'll give three shits if you're my family, right? If you're a bitch to me, you're a bitch. And I'm not gonna talk to you unless you contact me. And I'm only gonna respond for entertainment, so I can laugh at your dumbassery. Alright, well, that's what I'm gonna have for you, everyone. Hope you all have a great day, everybody. Don't try to apply my stupidity. This is MZ, dropping out.